Okay, for people joining us today, we are looking at finance functionality which is going into version 12 of Wolfram Language. So this is primarily supporting two forms of Bloomberg data access and one form of Reuters data access, but there is infrastructure necessary to do that, and it involves the functions service request, service submit, and so on. Now, have these been knitted into other pages and so on, or what? And where did this documentation come from? Who wrote this? How did this get
I wrote part of it. This is Fahim, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. And yes, we did knit it. I think we had a meeting about it, and I think these are knitted.
Okay, good. So we've already gone through these pages.
Yes, but we would like a final approval of it. And
well, do I have to read everything, or is it? Can you tell me what's different?
There is nothing different. It's just.
Does the continuous task stuff work?
For Bloomberg Terminal and Reuters link, it does work.
Okay.
For others, it will just give an error message of it's not supported.
Okay.
And the last time we spoke, we needed a method of saying that these particular service pages will work only for Wolfram Finance platform.
Was that resolved?
I cannot resolve it. I thought there was a talk about it, but I'm not following up on it.
Okay. So who is, and how's that going to work?
I don't know.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. So who's project managing this, and how are they spelled?
I am Andrea.
So what do you know
I
about
can't follow up, but I don't know.
Okay, what are we trying to do here? Okay, so the plan is to have these in the main documentation with a note that says they're only available in finance platform. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so what's the problem with that?
Yeah, we already have a meeting with Arnold. He knows. He knows, and we are kind of discussing.
So there isn't a problem. Okay, so yes, what is service response? And that doesn't seem to have been defuturized.
When we last spoke, there was no reason for it to exist, and therefore I have futurized it.
Okay, all right, fine. Is it referenced anywhere else? Yes, it's referenced right here.
Okay, so we will have to remove it, yes.
Well, if you don't believe it has any reason to exist, why don't you...
I will remove it. I will remove it.
Okay, well, here, it's real simple. We just go here, we go to page status, and we say excised, and kaboom, it's gone.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I mean, it's still archived, but it's gone. Okay, so this also mentions service response, which we don't need. Okay, so what's to look at next? So we want to look specifically at these service connection pages, right?
Yes, we should take a look at it because a few things have changed.
And of course, I can't run any of this stuff. Is that
right?
Okay, so with respect to the examples, that means those examples have to be locked, otherwise the system will try and rerun them, right?
Yes.
But that hasn't been done here.
No, I don't know how to, but maybe.
Okay, so let's get Brian on the phone if we could. Can somebody get Brian?
Okay. Yes.
On the phone. You do it by putting in this content status lockdown and so on.
Okay. I will do that then.
Okay. This is not exactly our standard way of doing it. Why is this in red here?
This is entity value. It's coming from entity value.
Why is it in red?
I was told that this is fixed, but apparently not.
Okay.
And this is particularly because the usage for entity value might have changed.
I know, but I'm saying if this is correct, it's either correct or it's not correct, right?
Well, it works, and so therefore
No. That's not good enough. If this is
Okay.
not a correct documented form for entity value, we cannot use it.
Well, it used to be documented.
Okay, so is it still documented or not?
It seems like it's changed. That's what I'm worried about.
Okay, so I think it's wrong. Okay, so what? Okay, is Alan here?
I'm here. I've seen that you're talking about the red on the entity association.
Yeah, is that
right?
a currently? Yes.
I don't think that's correct. I think it's a bug. I thought it was being addressed, but
okay, but I don't see documentation in entity value. I don't see documentation for that third argument in entity value at all. Does entity value have a third argument or not?
Yes, it has for as long as I have been using entity value. So if that's been removed, I don't know who removed it or
okay, but so it doesn't appear to be documented in here, right?
I agree. I can't see it there. That does not seem right to me.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay, so
I'll talk to Tony and see what.
Yeah, fine. So it probably needs another entry there for what is that? It's the yeah. So I think that's as you say, it's a bug in the documentation of entity value. Now, I mean, this is one of the most unbelievably complicated. I mean, okay. Is this a standard way of documenting a service connection with just examples and more examples?
Well, the problem is that this is doing something new. And the new stuff is that this is one of the only services that has entity interface to it. It supports continuous tasks. And so there is no precedence for how to document such a thing.
Okay. Where are you putting it on this page? Have you put it on this page or not?
No.
Okay, so we need to do that. So the name of that service is Bloomberg Terminal. Where should we put it? Should we put it underneath business services, perhaps?
Yes. It doesn't just quite fit, but I don't see any other section for it.
Well,
we could do finance exclude. Could we have another section there?
Yeah. Let's put it under here. It's called financial information. Okay. So here we would say Bloomberg Terminal. Access to Bloomberg actually, okay. Maybe we should move this down a bit. Maybe we'll just put it at the bottom since it's accessible only. Okay, so Wolfram Finance Platform should become a link. Andrea, that's for you to figure out. Okay. Hello.
She is on mute.
Get off mute, please. Okay. If she's not there, then...
No, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay. Did you understand what I said? That needs to be a link.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So I don't know how these... okay, so how do we describe what this is? Fahim?
Yes, I access to Bloomberg terminal data.
No, because
Okay.
we got to say that you have to have a Bloomberg terminal license, right?
Yes, it should be up and running on your Windows machine. So
access to Bloomberg terminal, Windows only.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at the other ones here. Where was it? Did I have this? There we go. This applies to any machine, is that correct?
Yes, this is supported on all platforms.
Is it all Bloomberg terminal data?
Yes.
Access to Bloomberg data license
Yes.
data? Is that
Yes.
right? I mean, is that some specific subset?
Yes, it's their different service of fetching data from them, so it's not real time.
Okay. So let's say this, real-time Bloomberg terminal data.
Yeah.
Access to stored Bloomberg data license data.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It sounds a bit awkward, but...
Well, is it correct?
Yes.
What the awkwardness is the fact that the word data comes up twice.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So what is the Reuters one?
Reuters is also real time.
What platforms?
Windows and Linux.
What a mess. Okay. Okay. Does this need to get put on pages about, it does need to get put on the financial data. Hold on a second. Oh boy, this is still not updated, Alan, for your stuff, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I think we need a thing here, financial data services.
Yeah, makes sense.
So this is mostly service execute, is that right? Or are all, you can use service execute, correct?
Yes, for certain services, yeah. That
Well,
will
no,
be
no, for these services, can you
yes.
use it?
Yes, for all of them.
Okay. I kind of think we should just link to that page and not really go into more detail here. Oh gosh. Do we want to mention here asynchronous delivery of these things or not bother?
If people think that's important, and I seem to think it is important.
No, but this is a page about financial.
Yes, none of the other services on there actually do that, do they?
Of course, I understand that, but we're talking about financial data services here.
Okay. I think.
What do we say? What will we say there?
Real-time streaming of.
No. What are you talking about? You're talking about how service submit works, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with real-time streaming. That's to do with connecting.
How would you have real-time streaming without service submit?
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we say here. I think we should just leave it like this.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back and look at this. Connect your Bloomberg terminal account. Okay.
Okay.
And this needs to say, well, I mean, so somewhere here, and I don't know how to write it. Oh my gosh, that wasn't very useful, was it? This needs to say, have a cell that basically says, no, that's gonna group incorrectly. Okay, makes sense. Did you get to see what I'm saying? I'm trying to put a cell
Not
above
really.
this one.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
You don't understand. Okay, so
after details.
No, no. Look, when the page gets built, none of the stuff above will ever show up. Do you get what I'm saying? On the built page, right? So let's take a look at one of these here. That's not the built page. This is still the old version. I don't know why. That looks really weird. Okay, this is the built page. So I don't know where we want to write here, Wolfram Finance Platform only. I think maybe it goes in brackets after this, okay?
Because what Arnold and Brian were suggesting is to put a stripe. So what we ask design to do.
All right, fine. Do you have a mock-up of it?
We still not have a mock-up, so we send a request to design already.
Okay, what would the text of that stripe say?
Let me check.
Okay. This should just say, forget this thing here. Just remove that line. If there's a stripe, then that's all there is to it.
Okay, but I didn't have a stripe, so.
Okay, fine, but that's what you're supposed to be getting. So let's take that out.
Okay.
You must have an active subscription. Okay, so make sure these things are links to the appropriate places. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Are we considering this as an experimental feature or non-experimental at this point? I don't see any good reason it should be experimental. Do you?
No, I don't think it should be experimental. We kind of want to support it through and through.
Okay. What is the stuff that says entity lookup? I don't understand that at all.
This is how entity lookup actually works. You give it.
No. I don't. I'm talking about how the documentation is set up.
Yes, I don't know. That was a question, and so when we discussed the service, we wanted an entity interface to it, but we didn't know where to document it.
Well, that doesn't seem like a great place to me.
So where would we document it?
I'm not sure. It requires thought.
Yes.
Alan, there's going to have to be a whole discussion about access external data feeds and entities. Maybe we should say data feeds and entities. Because this page is going to have to mention entity someplace as well.
Right. I mean, we just haven't gotten to this yet. I presume it's going to be the same thing we've been doing other places. And most
I would hope so. Yeah. Okay. The see alsos here obviously should point to Bloomberg data license.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the see alsos work to get to financial data and the entity pages. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a nice question for Brian and so on. Andrea, got it?
Yes, I did.
What is this? And does it, I don't understand what.
So this is the setup for Reuters. You have to connect it using the VPN. And so this will have to be edited with fake username and position and whatnot. But connection settings is how you
Wait. The things you've given here work from within our domain, is that correct?
Yes.
But nowhere else?
No.
Okay. Okay, now where you say entity lookup. So you're inventing completely new categories for these examples.
Yes, I am.
It doesn't seem right.
Well, I couldn't put entity lookup anywhere else.
Okay. First of all, are there workflow pages about these things?
I have not written any.
Have you asked for some to get written?
No, I have not asked.
But you understand why they would be a good idea? Because
yes. Yes. We used to have tutorials, but yeah. And there are tutorials for Bloomberg data, Bloomberg terminal.
Okay.
But yeah, we could convert those to.
So those are being converted to tech notes, right?
Oh, that's what. So maybe there should be a tech note for this.
No, there should be a workflow for this because like the connection stuff should be in a workflow.
What is the difference between a tech note and a workflow?
They're just completely different. I mean, look at them. Look at two of them. A workflow is this very specific thing. Okay, a very specific thing that gives steps for how to do an operation that involves. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the.
Okay, that's fine.
So, like for example, here, I don't know. Something like this, right? There'll be some very specific thing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yes, this is very useful. Okay, I should be writing this. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So Philip Bloom is the guy who knows how to do this. Elizabeth Schacht manages them. If you know the content, they can help you with the formatting of this.
That would be very nice. Yes, maybe Andre could make note of it, and we could get together and actually do it.
Okay, so this is what you need for things like that. If you want to give a bigger picture, then you need some kind of tech note.
Okay.
But this is for the sequence of steps to make something happen. Like, for instance, your connect to this.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I don't understand properties, instruments.
So these are
seeing this formatted, it's really hard to tell what's going on here.
This is the format that has been with us for some time.
But is it used for other? Okay.
Look at PubChem, for example.
Okay. Okay. All right, so where are you showing the submit stuff?
It's right there.
Oh boy. By the way, why are you using data objects that look like this? Why aren't you using the proper appearance of data objects?
That's because it's manually entered. I could do control equal, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I would kind of do control equals actually.
Okay.
Well, I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my mind. I think it's more obscure, given that you've actually got all the detail here of you've actually got the 6 tuple of values all meaning something.
Hmm.
No. Get the first 5. Get the first 5 Bloomberg terminal properties.
Okay.
And I don't understand why this is in quotes and the other one isn't.
It's just my oversight.
Okay. Oh boy. How are you going to make that dynamic work? I mean, you have to burn that in somehow.
Okay.
All right. Entity lookup. How do I even know what entities are there?
You do entity properties, right?
No.
But
How you know what entities are there?
We assume they know. We assume.
What if you do entity list?
Nothing will show up because these are not because they always change and Bloomberg keeps on changing them. So we can't have a prefetched list.
Well, can't we fetch in real time?
Well, there are ways of doing that, but there are no ways to hook it up into entity value framework. So there's no, it doesn't take a function.
Right.
When you create a custom entity store.
What do you mean it doesn't take a function?
So the way entity lookup works is that for entity property value, we give it a function, which is a underlying service execute. And,
yes.
Right. And for entity itself, there is no function that I say, well, check from Bloomberg if this particular entity is right or not. And we can't really.
How do you document? Where are you documenting? Does the entity exist?
We don't. We just say whatever string you want to put in, you can. And then if it isn't working, then you'll get an error message directly from Bloomberg.
Right, but is there a way of testing programmatically? If I want to know whether AAA is a valid ID or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it will just give you no, there is no way. No.
Okay, so there probably should be.
Okay.
And why don't we say name here?
Okay.
Bloomberg entity with a specified name. And if you can copy that onto the other ones, that would be good.
Okay.
It's not an entity lookup. It's an entity property lookup.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Entity value. Actually, let's say it's really entity value. And it's not necessarily a lookup. I mean, it might be going out and let's see. Entity values, maybe.
Yeah, that's much more precise.
Okay. Okay. So here, Bloomberg entities are automatically mapped to Wolfram Language entities for immediate lookup or something. Is that right? Immediate or asynchronous lookup. Does that make any sense?
Bloomberg. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know what that means.
Okay, so I'm trying to explain here that Bloomberg entities right?
Yes. So we are talking like MSFT, US equity, and whatnot.
Yes, right.
Okay, I see. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know if. Why are you saying asynchronous lookup?
Well, isn't that what service submit is?
Service submit is exactly that. Yes. Okay.
That's why I'm saying it.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a few things then that you should move over from this one to the other ones here.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me look at this other one.
We'll have to remove that cell. And I have to.
Reuters ETA.
It's Reuters. It's used to be called Reuters ETA.
Okay, so you're going to deal with these. These don't look right for the. Those should be in quotes and so on, I suspect. But I mean, there's some details here that don't look right. You need help from the documentation folk like Brian.
Okay.
To sort this out. I wish I could try just running these things, but I don't have. I mean, I'm not.
You will be able to run Bloomberg Data License, actually.
Right now, I could just run it.
No, you have to install the certificate for it. But once the workflow is released, you will be able to do that.
Okay.
But
okay. I mean, this looks great. I mean, I know it's been a lot of work to get to this point. I don't see I think structurally this is okay. Nobody's going to understand it without the workflows and things.
Right. Somebody new. But yeah, it's we actually. Can I ask you for something? Yeah. We kind of need a proper data structure for storing tables. I know this is not the right group to talk to about, but that would be nice.
What type of tables?
Just a very, very long table with column names and row names.
What's wrong with data set or any of those other things?
That's because it's very heavy, right? For tick data.
Okay. That's not the okay. Yeah. So that's a good use case that you should talk to Chris Carlson about because he's working on the revision of data set.
Okay, fair enough. Brilliant.
It also probably relates to the revision of time series, which is being done by different people, but he should know who's doing that.
Right.